If you've been thinking about buying a property here in Germany, but keep asking yourself whether now is actually a good time, this video is going to give you a straight answer, not a vague "it depends." A real answer based on actual numbers from the current market. Because I've done the math and what I found might surprise you. My name is Hans and I help expats find, analyze and buy rental properties here in Germany. I currently own 15 apartments across southern Germany, and through my platform German Realty I share everything I've learned about building a real estate portfolio here. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Before we dive in, if you're serious about buying your first rental property in Germany and want somebody to guide you through every step personally, I offer a mentorship program where we do everything together. Make sure to visit germanrealty.org to book a free call and find out if that's the right fit for you. Here's what we'll cover. What happened to the German market between 2022 and 2024, where interest rates stand today, whether the numbers actually work in 2026 with a real example, and my honest personal view on whether now is a good time to buy or wait. Between 2010 and 2022, German property prices went on an extraordinary run. In major cities, prices more than doubled. And for this, I usually use Interhyp, which is basically a big mortgage broker here in Germany, and check out on their website what the current interest rates are. If you're interested in that, I posted the link to their website in the video description. Interest rates were at a historic low, sometimes below 1%, which meant buyers could borrow enormous amounts of money very cheaply. Then in 2022, everything changed. The ECB raised interest rates rapidly from under 1.5% to over 4% even. Buying power collapsed, transaction volumes fell sharply, and prices corrected. In some areas of Munich and Berlin, for example, by 15 to 20% from their peaks, which is substantial. But here's what most people missed. The correction didn't wipe out the gains of the previous decade. Prices in most German cities are still dramatically higher than they were in 2015. The 2022 to 2024 period was a sort of normalization, not a structural crash. And since late 2023, prices in many markets have started recovering. Demand has returned, new construction has collapsed because building costs made new projects unviable, and immigration continues to drive housing demand in urban areas specifically. And I'm sure you've noticed that in cities like Munich, Berlin, or others. Now, as of 2026, 10-year fixed interest mortgage rates sit at roughly 3.5 to 4%, higher than the near zero rates of 2015 or 2021, but actually a fairly normal level by historical standards. Everyone asks, will rates come down? And the honest answer is nobody knows for certain. But waiting for rates to fall is a dangerous strategy for two reasons. First, if interest rates fall, property prices will almost certainly rise in response. You might get a lower rate but pay a higher price, with the net result being similar or worse. Second, every month you wait is a month of missed rental income, equity buildup and potential tax benefits. The more useful framing is therefore, at current rates of 3.5 to 4%, the numbers work in well-chosen locations. Not every property in every city, of course, but the right deal in the right place absolutely makes sense from a financial perspective. Let me show you a real example here. Let's say a 30 square meter one-room apartment in a mid-sized university city such as Freiburg, Heidelberg or Münster currently costs around 160,000 euros. Now, what you're going to need as well is the 11% more or less in closing costs, which are roughly 18,000 euros, which you need in cash. The bank then finances 160,000 euro, meaning the whole purchase price. At 4% interest and let's say 1.5% repayment, your monthly mortgage payment is therefore roughly 740 euros. Now let's get to the rental income. A 30 square meter apartment in a strong university city achieves rent of about 550 euros in cold rent. If you now add allocable costs, which the tenant pays for, let's say roughly 180 euros, the warm rent is around 730 euros. Then you also have the non-allocable costs, which you as the owner need to pay for, which is around, let's say 65 euro. Therefore, to calculate the monthly cash flow, you take the 740 euros or 730 euros minus the 65 euros minus 733 euros. And that equals to approximately minus 68 euros per month. Slightly negative, but here's the full picture. Every month your tenant is also paying down approximately 200 euros of your loan principal. Equity going directly to you. Over a year, that's 2,400 euros in equity buildup without you doing anything. From a potential tax perspective, speak to a Steuerberater for your specific situation, but your depreciation and interest deductions may create a taxable loss that reduces your income tax bill significantly if you are a higher earner. And your rent will grow over time while your mortgage stays fixed, let's say for 10 years, meaning that slightly negative cash flow today will likely become neutral or even positive within a few years. So the math works. You just need to understand the full picture rather than just stopping at monthly cash flow. Now let's get to the markets. Not all markets are equal in 2026. The cities that make the most sense share a common profile. Strong rental demand from universities or diverse employment, prices that have corrected from 2022 peaks, and a structural housing shortage supporting continued rent growth. My top picks are mid-sized university cities in the 2,000 to 4,000 euro per square meter range. Freiburg, Heidelberg, Münster, Augsburg, or even Leipzig. Strong rental demand, reasonable entry prices, and solid long-term fundamentals. I'd be more cautious about city centers in, let's say, Munich or Frankfurt. Right now, not bad long-term bets, but the price to rent ratio makes near-neutral cash flow very difficult. You're betting almost entirely on price appreciation, which requires a very long time horizon. In my point of view, the best property type are 1 or 2 bedroom apartments in the, let's say, 25 to 50 square meter range. Also, buildings from the 1980s to the early 2000s in complexes with, let's say, 5 to 10 units or even more. This profile gives you the highest rental demand, lowest maintenance costs, and easiest financing. So what do I actually think, me personally? Yes, I think now is a good time to buy for the right person. If you have a stable income, let's say 15 to 25,000 euros in savings for closing costs and a 10-year time horizon, the current market offers genuinely good opportunities. Prices have corrected from their peaks and rental demand remains extremely tight. And competition from other buyers is lower than in 2020 or 2021, meaning less bidding pressure and more room to negotiate. The people who will look back in, let's say, 10 years and wish they had bought are the ones currently waiting for perfect conditions that never quite arrive. That moment rarely comes, and every year of waiting is a year of missed equity buildup, missed rental income, and missed potential tax benefits as well. Buy the right property in the right location at a fair price and just hold it and keep it for 10 years. That formula has always worked out in Germany, and it works just as well in 2026. So to wrap up, the German market went through a real correction, but the fundamentals are intact. Rental demand is strong, prices are reasonable, and the math works in the right locations. Slightly negative cash flow on a well-chosen property is not a problem. It's a reasonable short-term cost for significant long-term wealth building. If you want help figuring out whether now is the right time for your specific situation, make sure to visit germanrealty.org to book a free call. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like, leave a comment with your question, and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Bye. Now, if you want to keep learning, I've got 2 videos that go perfectly with this one. The first one explains exactly how to buy your first property in Germany step by step, from getting your finances in order all the way to signing at the notary. If you want to watch it, make sure to check it out here. And the second one breaks down how your visa and residency status affects the mortgage rate you'll be offered by German banks, something most expats only find out after it's already cost them money. If you're interested in that one, make sure to check it out here.